So what do you,
all right, so the film depicting the life of the U.S. Navy SEAL Chris Kyle, which Ayman has some detailed issues with, has already won over audiences here in the U.S., raking in more than $200 million since its release. But it's also reportedly thrilling audiences in Baghdad. Some viewers got so into the film they began shouting out during the screening. The Global Post reported one moviegoer yelling, "Shoot him. He has an IED. Don't wait for permission." He continued saying, "I love watching war movies because especially now they give me the strength to face the Islamic State." The film only ran for 1 week at a popular upscale mall. Management ended the film's run because of the controversy surrounding the killing of Muslims. What are they doing there?
Really? Doesn't sound like a terribly scientific study. One guy stood up and yelled. I don't think that maybe reflects how
actually, I actually read the NBC News story, and it was actually the audience was yelling, "Shoot him, shoot him!" When the little kid when the little kid was walking towards him. Yeah. Of course, I thought it was so fascinating. We were sitting in the audience, going, "What do you do? What do you want to do? What do you do?"
Oh my gosh!
In Baghdad, the NBC News story said the audience was yelling, "Shoot him! He's got an IED!"
Tells you something about Iraqi society,
which I thought was absolutely fascinating. And also,
that is interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, there have been enough people blown up by innocent-looking, suspects. It was fascinating. So,
yeah,
Ayman.
Well,
go ahead.
If you don't know anything about Chris Kyle, if you don't know this is a true story, this was a great movie. Tremendously entertaining, a lot of value, a lot of good conflicting.
I want to hear what you think the value is of the movie.
Well, I mean, it's a story that, if you, in fact, as the director was saying, it's a story about post-traumatic stress disorder. It addresses the way these veterans come home, how their return to society is always posed with a lot of problems and challenges. So from that perspective, it is a very compelling, very thought-provoking, very emotional movie.
But
when you juxtapose it with the real Chris Kyle and the story and what has emerged about what kind of personality he was, in his own words, very far
We're talking about the stories when he was back home in Texas, which may not have been true. Is that what you're talking about?
A lot of stories about when he was back home in Texas, a lot of his own personal opinions about what he was doing in Iraq, how he viewed Iraqis, some of what people have described as his racist tendencies towards Iraqis and Muslims as he was going on some of these, killing sprees in Iraq on assignment. So I think there are issues.
Wait, it's killing sprees. When Chris Kyle was going on killing sprees?
When he was involved on assignments.
Right.
In terms of what he was doing.
Right.
A lot of the description that has come out from his book and some of the terminology that he has used.
Right.
People have described as racist, and his personal attitudes about what he was doing overseas when he was on assignment.
I think a lot of guys, when they're in warfare, might say things they shouldn't say. I know we certainly said quite a few things about the Japanese, and I'm sure the Japanese said quite a few things about us. I mean, listen, I didn't know the guy. I mean, I only know what I know through, Bradley Cooper and reading a lot of what that interaction goes.
Yeah.